Hello everybody, how are you going? And welcome to TikTok's Only Australians Will Understand, but it's alright if you're not Australian, you might just learn a thing or two as well. Oh, what have we got? The entire heat map? Oh, wait, the Africa, like Northern Sahara, wasn't actually that warm. Whoa, when is this? This is toasty over in WA, of course. I'm surprised the middle isn't actually a little bit warmer than that. I mean, even just in that, what would you call it, burgundy, mauve, maybe even maroon, like dark, deep red. I'm surprised that Central Australia isn't hotter. I mean, of course, we do also have to consider the wet bulb temperature, which comes down to the humidity, as I'm fairly sure the WA is pretty dry. I mean, it's one of the driest places in the world in terms of days of the year or something like that from a major city point of view, compared to the East Coast, which does have a lot more humidity, especially as you get up into the proper tropical areas. Whoo, man, you are going to be having some hot numbers, but also some high humidities. But honestly, at the same time, I reckon I would rather just be over in this red wasteland 90% of the time compared to just that blue icy. Look at this, just like -40 up in the north areas of the Northern Territories of Canada, even just like some of these mountainous areas, even Mexico. I mean, it must be the December period. You can't call it summer or winter because it's the entire world, but it must be that because look at this band in the southern hemisphere. That is crazy.
Confusing things in Sydney, Australia, as a South African. School kids wear different types of shoes. So apart from them wearing like the same uniform or being from the same school, they'll wear tackies, some will wear school shoes, some will wear formal like church shoes.
What?
It's kind of confusing.
Ooh, yeah.
If it's sneakers, should it not be the same color to still keep it uniform?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it definitely depends on the school, but I'm trying to kind of dissect what she is actually looking at here as, is that going to be a sports uniform? I feel like I've seen that as it is Sydney, but that could, considering it's like shorts like that, it could be a sports uniform. That would be the main thing that I would be thinking. I mean, maybe she's seeing it everywhere. It's just that school that she's seeing doesn't actually crack down on it too much, which would be very, very rare. But at the same time, you can bet that it would have to be a public school, because if you are going to a religious school or a private school or even selective school, you're not going to be having those kind of privileges any time of the year. You're going to be having your blazer and your particular bag and even like the church shoes, or, I mean, I've heard of tackies, but I can't actually remember what it is. What people overseas think. I don't know what that end one was, but it's surprising half of those. I mean, I get the first one, plain and simple, says it all. But then the second one, I guess they're saying expensive, fair enough. That's also just going to be depending on what currency you're coming from. If you're coming from USD, it's actually not too bad. It's often cheaper. But then I have no idea what they're talking about in the end here. They're just saying like massive mansions, or just continuing on from the massive money. Like, are they saying we have huge houses? And I think I hear mixed things, but we definitely don't have big houses like this, like the UK and the US do. I mean, we might have big lots of land, but not big houses, not big old estates like that. Not to the same extent, I don't feel like. And then in terms of high-end fashion, maybe I'm out of the loop, which I'm happy and fine with because I don't need to associate myself with any of that stuff. But at the same time, I definitely don't associate Australia with anything like that. Paris, Europe in general, even just like LA or a lot of the states, I would put way higher than anywhere in Australia. Like, we're expensive, but not kind of focused like that. I mean, everywhere has people like that, but I feel like it's a little bit different perhaps. But actually thinking about it makes a lot more sense when I realize that their reality is also my reality. And so yeah, I do associate a lot more with Kmart and bin chickens than high-end fashion and just, I don't know, estates and everything else. I mean, kangaroos, sure, but just money like that? I mean, that's USD, for goodness sake. What is Australia hiding from us? What? What are we hiding? I mean, a lot of stuff. If these guys zoom into this peninsula, I'm going to be calling some... Oh, actually, where are they going? Oh, that's not where I expected them to be going, because I was going to say, what's it going to... What are they going to be zooming into? Is there a pin mark there? What's it going to be? Is Geo guessing a little, just guessing what? What? No way. I have to go and try and find this place. That's crazy. 360 photosphere. What is that in the middle? What? It's taken me a while, but I think this is the right spot, but I just don't see what I need to be seeing for this to be real. I mean, if I just take this back again, surely this is this, right? There's no mistaking that. Yeah, that's the right place. There's no drop pin anywhere there. I mean, it doesn't mean that it didn't once upon a time exist, to be fair. I'm not trying to start any conspiracy, and I'm not also trying to say that the video is real, because there's no reason to believe it's real, but at the same time, it does look very real, and it is very, very confusing. Oh, I mean, unless I need to enable, I don't think I need to enable anything. It's got the guy right here, photosphere. It should be right there, but I don't see any. And so, like I said, unless it's been removed, I can't exactly think that this is real. What I thought that they were going to be zooming into is all the way over here in Northwest Cape. You can see this giant communication center. And Australia doesn't own this. The USA owns this. And it's kind of a secret, unknown USA naval base or something. I mean, it's got a naval pier and shipwrecks and stuff like that. But these antennas are the tallest thing in the southern hemisphere. You can see their shadows. If it wants to load, you can see their shadows from ages away. It's like 380 meters high or something. It's crazy stuff. Aussies when it gets too hot. Jeez, load the skip in polyester.
I was about to get my jumper. Fuck off, idiot. Nah, but I actually heard this weekend's meant to be a scorcher. Really? Yeah. I'm already sweating like a pedophile at a Wiggles concert. Bloody hell, it's almost as hot as your mum out here.
So many classics.
Oh, you know, if it gets to 40 degrees, we get to go home. Oh, mate, you're dreaming.
Yeah. You're dreaming. Like I said, these guys aren't doing themselves any favors by buying or wearing these $2 polyester shirts. I mean, they're kind of cool in terms of temperature, but man, do they also just make you sweat. And so as much as he can go around saying that he's just going to go get his jumper, I don't think you want to be getting that. Just chucking on one of those polyester shirts, you might as well just be putting yourself in a sauna, for goodness sake. I mean, at least they did have thongs at the start here, so they're going barefoot for better or worse considering they're loading a skip. But temperature-wise, they're good in every department except for sun protection and the polyester shirt.
What's the most dangerous place in Australia?
Probably
While
the
Australia
coastline?
is known for its laid-back lifestyle,
Okay.
there are some areas where crime rates are higher.
Oh, that's
Let's
kinda
find out
dangerous.
which places make the list.
Alice
In fifth
Springs?
place, we have Alice Springs in
There
the
we go,
Northern
just 'cause of where
Territory.
I've zoomed
Known
into.
for its stunning outback scenery, it also
Sure.
struggles with high rates of violent crime.
Okay.
At number
To an
4,
extent.
we have Townsville in Queensland. This coastal
Yeah.
city has seen a rise in property crime and youth-related offenses in recent years.
Okay.
Coming in at number 3 is Darwin, also in the Northern Territory. While it's a gateway to amazing natural beauty, Darwin has some of the highest assault rates in the country.
I mean, hang on. I thought I saw what I saw, but they just zoomed in back right next to Alice Springs, or used the Alice Springs thing, but just went green instead of red. But meanwhile, Darwin's all the way up north. And so I can only imagine that the words are right, because I do know that Darwin can be dealing with some problems like that. But at the same time, at least get the Google Maps location right. I mean, how hard is it, for goodness sake? Alice Springs, Townsville, they looked all right, but Darwin is not in the center. Darwin is all the way up the top.
In second place, we have Cairns, Queensland.
Cairns?
While
That's
a
also
popular
not how you
tourist
spell that.
destination, Cairns faces significant crime challenges,
Really?
particularly related to theft and drug offenses.
I don't know
And
about
finally, the most dangerous place in Australia
What, Newton?
is Kalgoorlie in Western Australia.
Kalgoorlie?
Known for its mining history, this town has high rates of
on, just
assault,
there.
theft, and other serious crimes.
Overall, some of the places on this list, I can certainly say that they are not going to be the lowest crime areas, but at the same time, none of them are that crazy, especially compared to a lot of places in the world. There is basically nowhere in Australia that is going to be as deadly or as dangerous as a lot of places in the world, especially not Darwin. I mean, yeah, Alice Springs has had some problems recently, and of course, cities and towns and communities are going to be going and working through waves of different problems or highs and lows, but Cairns, certainly not spelt like that, is fine as far as I'm aware. Feel free to go to Cairns.
Want to know how hot it is in Australia?
Oh, the
This hasn't
outdoor
been switched
Barbies.
on. It's just been baking in the Aussie sun. Just goes to
No.
show.
There's no
it's all
way.
metal. It's all
I
metal.
don't believe
It's
it.
all metal.
I know that they get
Wanna know how
bloody
hot it is in
hot,
Australia?
but I do not believe that at all. I mean, that is one of the cleanest outdoor public barbecues I've ever seen, unless it's just brand new. But I don't believe that it's not on. As much as they can say that it hasn't been on, the way that that just
Switched on.
instantly
It's just
turns to
been
steam
baking in the
with
Aussie
that
sun.
much water, and it's not black steel, that's impossible. It's like you can see, like it gets that stainless steel, which it is, but it gets that stainless steel bead to it, which needs to be like, I don't know, like 250 degrees or something. It's not a number that I can pluck out of thin air, but I know when people are talking about cooking and they're like, oh, no, the stainless steel is hot enough, and they put it on and they go, no, you need to do the water test until the water just beads and boils its way around like it's hydrophobic to the surface, but it's water on stainless steel. And that's what that's doing. And as hot as the sun can get, like we saw before, being 40 degrees, 45, just go to 50, there's no way that a stainless steel pan outside is getting 5 times the air temperature. It might get to 80. It might even get to 100. That would be unfathomable for it to get to 100. 250 though, it's not possible. Him touching it at the end, definitely possible. Like seatbelts in cars, you'll brand yourself on a seatbelt. But seeing this when he puts his hand on there, yeah. But if you put it on the pan or the stove, whatever you want to be calling that, it would be a very, very different story. Do not put your hand on any of this stuff.
Turning at roundabout
Jesus,
with multiple
that's
lanes.
such a random perspective. It's such a
Stay
video
on
game
correct lane,
perspective.
then indicate.
I guess this makes sense.
Give way
to
to
be
the
able to tell
vehicle on your
internationals.
right and those already inside the roundabout.
Yep, that makes sense. Give way to the right.
Enter the roundabout.
Yep, waiting. Ooh, where are they going? They're going right, obviously. They've got their indicator on, and they could have gone straight there, though. That's the thing. As we saw at the start here, the lanes do actually tell you where you can go. Obviously, the right one being straight and right, and the left one being left and straight. So it favors straight, so you don't get caught out in that regard. But realistically, as long as you can just kind of get your brain towards where you need to be going. Like I said, if you're going straight, doesn't matter. If you're going right, be in the right lane. Left, in the left lane, and just give way to the right. And then take your opportunity. Multiple people can be in there. Intersection, if you want to call it that, because that's what it is, at one time. Otherwise, no one's going to go anywhere.
Welcome to Australia, guys. This is Summer and
Come
Oz.
on now. What, is you just taking this off the fire? There's no way. I mean, at least it is a black pan, so it is going to be absorbing a little bit more heat, but it still only gets so hot in the sun. I mean, I was going to say that's a plastic chair, but it's not. It's a metal chair. Oh, surely there has to be a burn mark or something on the bottom of that. I mean, to be honest,
salt and pepper,
it's
mate.
doing all right. It isn't cooking as fast as I guess it has been off the heat
She's
source
a
for a little
scorcher,
while.
guys,
At the
scorcher.
same time, again, I do not believe it. You can only get so hot. Surely. Just keep going, mate. But still, maybe. But I just still don't believe it. There's no way.
When did you realize that Australia has a mini Australia?
A mini Australia? Interesting way to show it. I kind of prefer the Google Maps point of view, and I might have to check this one out as well. But in Geelong, in what? That must be manufactured. There's no way. Straight back to Google Maps. Straight back out of there. Let's just go straight down to Geelong. Come on now. Where was it? Down here, there, here? Oh, look at that. I just could not find it because it was so blended in. I expected the water to be a little bit more blue, I guess, than that. But I guess it is down here because I was going to confound the stadium, but I couldn't find it. But look at that. I mean, of course, it's going to be manufactured like this. I don't know if it has Tassie. Maybe it has Tassie, but Tassie's a little bit overgrown looking at that. But overall, I did not know that. I'm surprised there's not more of these, to be honest. It feels like a shape that is unique enough and interesting enough that councils would go, you know what? Yeah, let's spend $5 million making an Australia in the middle of Centennial Park. Whoa. That was wild.
I'm genuinely not getting out of my car.
That was crazy. What was that? I mean, I don't know how many people I know that actually have magpies swoop them, and I feel like every single time it comes up, it feels like you have to have done something or been with someone that did something to a magpie to have them swoop you like that. I mean, they do swoop, let's say, dogs and everything, but humans riding along, people try and put things on their helmets or whatever it may be, but I've never seen one come that close. Also, that's not a magpie, is it? That's what I was thinking, but it's definitely not. But look at that. That is crazy. That peeled a whole eyelid down. Hopefully she was alright. I mean, it would have been a hell of a, I don't even know, a surprise to be one word with it, but that still, I'm surprised it didn't just draw blood, or maybe it did. Either way, be safe out there, but also just be nice to animals, please. Otherwise, you might end up losing your eye. What is it going to be? Brisbane? Nah, it can't be Brisbane. They got nothing going from Logan. What do you want to... What? None of that. Not just throwing a Logan Central. What? What is any of this? No, I will not accept that. Logan has nothing for it, let alone Brisbane, let alone Queensland, let alone any of the images that we just saw there. I don't know where that is. Is that Shanghai, maybe? I don't believe it's Tokyo. That's a very tall building. I'm not entirely sure, but that's definitely not in Australia. I know that. There is no buildings with lead all over them like that. This, I mean, it could be. That more represents Logan than anything, to be honest. I mean, this next one being Logan Central, sure. But then you cut to this. You go from this to this. Like, what? What are you on about? And the mountains as well, let alone the lakes and the rivers. Nah, not taking it. As beautiful and picturesque as all of these places are, besides the Logan Central Plaza, I mean, if that's what you want to be going for, you would get a nice, healthy dose of what Logan's all about if you go there. But realistically, anywhere else is definitely going to be higher on the list, surely for everyone. I mean, for goodness sake, if you go to the Logan Central Plaza, you're going to be hanging out with the Loganites and the Brisbaneites, and that's the same people that think daylight savings makes the cows and the chickens lose their sense of time and makes them crazy. So I don't know if you can really want to be associated with these kind of people. I mean, you might be able to take a shot and see images like this on some TV screen in the middle of the plaza, but otherwise, go to any other place. Even go to the Mini Australia down in Geelong. That would be my recommendation.